Okay, I can explain the song. Um, it's a long story and it's a dark one, but that's when songs come out, you know. So this is it's quite a long story. It's almost from like my first memory. But yeah, I wrote that song. So I had a friend named Brook. I have a friend named Brook. Um, he was my first. First off, it's a him. That's why it's spelled without the E. It's just his name was Brook. His brother name was Nile, and his other brother's name was Noah. And they were all named after water, like in the Bible. So we lived in a town called Bloomingdale, New Jersey, and he had this big farm at his house. And his mom used to pick me up from school, and I would just go to his house to hang because my mom is a school teacher, so she couldn't get out of school at time to come pick me up. So um, I would um, I would go to their house, and I remember when I was in third grade, I was eating dinner at my house, and my mom says, "Adam, the phone is for you." And I was like, "Whoa, phone's never for me." And it was Brooke, and he was like, "Hey, man, we're in third grade, so talking to another third grader as a third grader, like you're making sense. Like in my brain, we were having a full conversation, but it probably wasn't anywhere near this complex. He was like, "Hey, man, um, I'm so sorry, but I'm moving to a different town, and I just wanted to say bye because we're moving tonight." And I said, "Wow, okay, well, hopefully I'll see you soon," or something along those lines. And he was like, "Okay, we'll talk soon," or something, or like, "Okay, see you." And I was like, "All right, bye." And I remember just being so upset. And yeah, I didn't see him again for, I didn't, okay, so this is where it leaves off. So I didn't see him again until a certain time. So that was in third grade. Um, when I was in fifth grade, I moved from that town to another town. My parents got um, they got another house, and we moved to a town that was close by. It's like 15 minutes away. Um, and we didn't have cell phones or anything. Like when your friend moves, it's just that's it. You're just not friends anymore. You know what I mean? You just don't like. There's no way. Um, and so I moved to a different town in fifth grade, and when I was in when I was in middle school, I used to skateboard a lot, and then in middle school, I was hanging out with a group of friends, and I had a really great friend named Chris, and I would skateboard with him all the time. And then when I was, I got introduced to, from there, I got introduced to my friend Matt D'Amico, and then Matt introduced me to Brandon, and then Brandon introduced me to this kid named Drew, and Drew became a really good friend of mine, one of my best friends in high school, and he always, the first time I saw him, I was like, "Dude, you remind me exactly of my friend named Brooke." Like, so Brooke's dad was black and Brooke's mom was white. And this is the same thing with Drew too. So they looked exactly the same. And it was crazy. It was almost like it felt identical. Like just like, because like I only saw like Brooke as a kid, so like if he grew up, like it was this, and it had the same energy. We would always like hang out outside and stuff, and it was like really crazy. And then I guess fast forward to I was like 19. I think I was a freshman in college, and Drew died of a an overdose um, in New Jersey, which really was not good. And so I just remember being like, you know what? I have this weird feeling that I really have to just like try to get in touch with Brooke again after after he died, and then so I just like scounded whatever, searched all the way through Facebook. I was like on heavy on Facebook. And turns out that my mom works with somebody who was friends with Brook's brother on Facebook. That's how I was able to sort of connect the dots. So I somehow got in touch with Brook. I sent him a message like, dude, I know this is so weird, but like, my name's Adam. We used to be really good friends, you know? And he was like, oh my God, yeah, I'm down to hang. You know, I live in a place called Sparta. Um, and Sparta was only like 40 minutes from my house. And I was like, great. And I was like, just think of this. Like, if your friend moved 40 minutes from you now, like, you guys talk to each other. Like, and like Jen lives in San Antonio. Like other people live in Pasadena. Like, you know, you guys are all in touch with each other. And like, when you're in third grade and it's like, you just couldn't do it. Um, so I went to his house in Sparta, and I was like, it was so weird. You sort of just like have to go like, hey man, what are you up to? Like, what's going on? I almost had to be like, hey man, what are you like? You know, because I still didn't know what he was like. And I hadn't seen him in so long, and he was exactly the same. And I'm telling you, he still like talked and like laughed exactly like Drew did. And it was really all strange. And so I told him, I was like, dude, I know this is so weird, but I had a friend who I met basically after, you know, I started anything, who just like recently died, and, you know, all this stuff. And he was like, dude, it's so crazy. He said, you know, I would love to hang more, but I'm moving to Colorado next week. You know, it's crazy that you hit me up. And I was like, wow, that's so insane. So I follow him. So we follow each other on Instagram now, you know, like that's the thing. We've been in touch. And so I wrote this song about basically, and he actually, I saw him in October, because I played in Aspen, and he lives closer to Aspen than Denver. So, yeah. So, so Brook really do be moving. Yeah. I say that. Yeah. So it's like, and it's really crazy that, like, you know, things just sort of flow like water. Your life just sort of goes. And I thought it was like really crazy. So that hangout was basically what made the song. So it was like Brook revisited. Like, you know, this is like, I'm revisiting Brook at his, you know, house. We just walked around his neighborhood and just like caught up. And yeah, he rides motorcycles. He has a really good job. He just went to Hawaii. I remember, you know, like, he was showing me pictures of him flying a plane. It was really cool. Like, he's just like such a good person, and it's so cool to like still know him. And you know, he brought his brother Noah to the show in October, and when I saw Noah was like way younger, and he was towering. I was like, dude, this is so weird. But the last time I saw you, you were 5 years old. Like you don't even remember that. Like I do. Like, that's so crazy. So he does. I think he does know the song. I think we haven't really talked. I think it was sort of less about him than like more about like Drew. But the whole EP, the Archer EP, is about Drew. And also, like, I can say this now because my friend Brandon is a really strong person, and it's also about him. Sort of, you know, he wasn't doing so well with drugs either. He moved to Arizona. He's been sober for about 3 or 4 years now. And you know, it's tough. All those things are just real things. So so I guess line by line, which is like, have you ever seen someone with dream catchers for teeth, islands in their eyes, and fire in their speech? Drew was always talking like Drew. Okay, the other thing is Drew, my friend who passed away, amazing songwriter and singer, like unbelievable. Like, in high school, he's the one who showed me the Beatles. He was like showing me everything. I actually still know a song that he wrote, and it's on my iPod. He recorded a version of it, and I still listen to it all the time. And it's he used to always talk about what he wanted to do and how he wanted to play. And he's like, yeah, these are my dreams, these are my goals, blah, 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 all this stuff. And so it was like sort of like Dream Catchers for Teeth is just like anything that he sang, it like made you want to dream. It was like made you want to do things. And when it goes, islands in their eyes, he had like these, just, I don't know. I just remember him always having like really welcoming eyes, and like always like he just saw the better things in people. So um, the fire in their speech line is just an inside joke, because in the recording of the song that I have on my iPad, he goes, "All I do is spit fire. All I do is go straight," and then he sings a song. So it's fire in their speech. But he was really good at like freestyling, just like singing, writing songs. Incredible. He's an incredible piano player too. Was um, really insane. And then where else does it go from there? So then when I told Brooke, "You're the one I needed," I was in the kitchen while my heart was bleeding. Oh, and I know that it was okay to feel it. It was like the first time like one of my really good friends passed away. I had a couple friends in high school die of overdoses, but I wasn't really as close to them as I was to Drew. So that was like the first time I was like, wow, I'm feeling this feeling that I never thought I was allowed to feel, or wanted to feel, or it doesn't really you know, it's really crazy. So but the next thing, oh, and then the second chorus is just about when my sister called me and said uh, Drew died. I remember just like waking up and Julie calling me and being like, "Yo, I have such really bad news. I hate to be the one to tell you this." And then yeah, so then if you go through the song, sort of just that, keep that in mind. But these things happen. I've sort of processed it and moved on. I still really miss him, but yeah, it's he was in a lot of pain, and it just shows you just don't take it stemmed from um, he like, without getting too personal information, he broke his back in a car accident. He broke a bone in his neck. He would wear a neck brace and still be able to rap like really well. It was really cool. Um, and he just had a lot of trouble like feeling good, and he took a lot of painkillers. And then once the painkiller prescription like went out, the easiest thing from there is just is going to heroin, because it's cheaper. And yeah, so just don't try to, if you ever now whenever I get like a toothache or anything, I'm like sort of afraid to go to the doctor. Like, to be honest, I just got health insurance like um 2 weeks ago, because I never go to the doctor. I just don't go. I always, because I just like, I'd rather just feel the pain or go through it, than have to, deal with those things. And, but I did get it because of this thing. So just in case, I have to, but, yeah, I really love him a lot. And, Brandon's great too, and he's doing so well. And he just put out a song that I played some iPad stuff on. So I'll post that in my story too, for everybody. But yeah, that's kind of what the Archer is about. That's what Passtown is about. That's what Don't Invest in Me is about. That's more than anything. The whole thing is about that. So um, yeah, so that's about it. Um, yeah, trying to think. Oh yeah, the song that he wrote was so good. I don't really know